So how about a round of applause for the Suffolk County Democratic Committee staff? Allie, our executive director, Amanda, her deputy, Keith Davies, who's running our campaign. Come on, you can do better than that. A better round of applause for the staff. So my name is Rich Schaffer. I'm the chair of the County Democratic Committee. I want to thank you all for coming out for our spring dinner here tonight, 2023. How about a round of applause for all of our elected officials who are here tonight? If they could stand up, our elected officials. Without introducing, we've got our great Sheriff Errol Toulon leading the ticket. We've got our Jason Richburg, our minority leader, soon to be presiding officer of the Suffolk County Legislature. Give all of our elected officials, town officials, county officials, judicial officials a round of applause. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And I want to ask the presidents of our labor unions if they wouldn't mind standing up. We have both our county labor unions here as well as our constituency labor unions that make up the Long Island Federation of Labor and the Nassau-Suffolk Building Trades Council. Give them a round of applause for being here tonight, supporting us consistently. Our elected officials are always working for and on behalf of working women and men who work here in the county, who live here in the county, who make the county run. During COVID, the building trades were out there putting together hospitals to make sure that residents receive services. County employees were on the job the next day. They could not be locked out and locked down because they had to deliver services. Another round of applause for the hardworking women and men of labor. And speaking of which, I know that the hardworking women and men of labor are excited about when they open, if they work for a government, either the state or county or town or village government. They are very happy and excited with the sole trustee of the pension fund, who happens to be here tonight. I took a look at my statement. It looks pretty good. And we are grateful for him. He has been working on behalf of us, not only as a senior member of the New York State Assembly, but now, since I believe it's 2007, as our New York State Comptroller, and he's been a friend of mine for longer than that. We are really happy to have here tonight and honored to have our good friend, State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli.
All good, all good. Hello, Suffolk Democrats! Give it up for the best county chair we have in any Democratic Party in any state, Rich Schaffer. He works hard for you each and every day, and if you're lucky enough to live in the town of Babylon, he's a great supervisor as well. Rich, thank you for everything you've... Yeah, give him another round of applause for that. It is really great to see this turnout. Suffolk Dems, you always have a great turnout. But this is such an important year. Rich and the committee have put together an incredible slate of candidates. I've been pleased to meet many of them. Isn't this the year that the Dave Cologne team is going to sweep Suffolk County? What do you think? What do you think? You know, these races for county office and county ledge, judicial, the town races, they really are so very, very important. I was privileged to serve in the State Assembly, as Rich said, and doubly privileged to be your controller. But being a Long Islander, he hasn't got me to move to Suffolk yet. I'm still in Nassau. I know very well the men and women you elect to serve in county office, in town office, and local judicial office really are the folks that have the greatest impact on the quality of life for the neighborhoods and for the people who live here. So these races really are so very, very important. And the candidates that you have always run among the Suffolk Democrats are people that I've always observed in all the years that I've been coming to your events, are people that really care about the community, that have the energy, that have the dedication. And you know what? we went through a tough year last year. We did in Suffolk, we did in Nassau, we did statewide. But you know what? There's no reason for us to feel down about where we're at. Because when I see the kind of candidates you're running this year, and I know what the local issues are that you're going to emphasize, there's no reason why 2023, in fact, can't be a year of progress and great Democratic victories in Suffolk County, because there's no doubt the long history of this county has always shown when the Democrats are in control, whether it's of a township or the county ledge or Suffolk County, the decisions that are being made look out for the best interests of the real people of this county, not for any political machine. And I think one of the greatest tributes to the strength of this party organization, the introductions that Rich Schaffer made earlier. We would be nowhere without our friends in labor, and to see such a strong turnout from our unions on the private side, on the public side, I mean, that tells me that the team is here. And you even got some veterans. How did you get Engelbright to run again? Come on, I saw Steve. What a pleasure to see Steve back in the fray, right? So let the Engelbright example be one that guides you. Don't be down about some of the stuff that happened last year. We're ready to bounce back. For the people of Suffolk County, for my family, most of whom live in this county now, and you know what? We need to do a down payment for the work we have to do in 2024. There's a lot at stake. Hey, folks, I'm embarrassed to say my congressman is a fellow named George Santos. Think how I feel, right? Oh, yeah, he announced he's running for re-election. We got a lot of work to do next year. I don't remember, I'll test your memory. All my years being around, I don't ever remember the last time Long Island didn't have one Democratic member in the House of Representatives. I don't remember it. So Long Island can help win back the House of Representatives next year if you do the job we all need to do together to have Democratic victories in 2023. Yeah, the local issues are important, and certainly starting with Dave's race. But what we do this year is very, very important leading into the races next year. So, Rich, as you know, anything I can do to be supportive, I'm proud to be here. I left you a check as well, because I know that's what this is all about. So thank you all for supporting the Suffolk County Democrats. And the last comment I'll make is that if you work for the state, we are making sure you're getting paid even though the budget's late. We're working hard on that. And yeah, the markets have been a little wacky the past few months. But in fact, for our public workers and our public retirees, your pensions are in good shape. You have nothing to worry about. We're protecting them. Don't worry. So here's to victory for Suffolk Dems in 2023. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, buddy.
Tom DiNapoli, our great state comptroller. We are very fortunate to have him, and I'm fortunate to have him as a friend and an advisor, political and personal. Greatly appreciate that. And I see we've been joined by our other special guest. He was texting me this morning, and he asked how long he should speak. I said, at least 45 minutes. That will definitely clear out the room, send them to the bar, and they'll forget about you. But no, he was here back in October. We were grateful for him then, and we're very grateful for him now. And I have to tell you, Tom and I have seen many statewide officials come before us. I got to tell you that this individual has something special that we desperately need in New York State and in Suffolk County. And I can tell you, after he appeared here in October, he visited and worked with me on the government side in the town of Babylon. I took him to Babylon Village. He met with all of our chambers of commerce, and he was engaged with each individual person, spoke to them about what their concerns were. And this is a guy who's got the entire state of New York to cover. And something surprising he told me was that he was the architect and author of what's known as the ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act Fund. And one of the important things that he did in that when he was a congressman from the Hudson Valley upstate is he made sure that local governments got the power to distribute that money directly into their communities. So Suffolk County got a pot of money that they are now utilizing to benefit Suffolk County. In Babylon, we gave out $8 million of our $27 million in direct grants to businesses, small businesses that had to close up because of COVID. And when we handed them the checks, people were crying. They said, "You've saved our business. We can pay our staff. We can pay our supply bills. We can pay our rent. You don't realize what you are doing." And I said, "Well, you've got the Lieutenant Governor to thank for that, because if we didn't have that authority to decide to do that, there would be a lot of businesses that would have had to close down as a result of that." And these are the things that he talked about that I didn't even know about him. And I can tell you that this is a very special individual. I'm excited about the fact that he's our Lieutenant Governor. And I got to tell you, I think there's going to be even beyond Lieutenant Governor, and I'm happy to be one of the first supporters of that. I want to bring up our good friend, Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado.
I want to use the podium now.
You go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I got a few things to say.
You got it.
Thank you, Rich. How you doing out there? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not going to speak for 45 minutes. I promise you that. But I'm going to tell you this. I was up in Albany today, and I came here to Suffolk County for this event. I came here to speak to all of you. This is why I am here. This is why I came here. I just want to Napoli, thank you for your leadership. I want to acknowledge you, sir. Dave Colon, county exec, candidate, Sheriff Toulon, good to see you. To all the county legislative minority leader, Jason Richburg, and of course, our fearless leader up here. I want to remind us, if I can, about our values. If you give me a minute, please, I want to just speak to our values, our principles, the things that I think really underpin every single reason we're all in here this evening. I'm talking about decency. I'm talking about fairness. I'm talking about justice. I'm talking about equality, freedom, integrity. I'm talking about compassion. I'm talking about truth. And I'm talking about love. These are our values. And I want to be clear. These values, they matter. They have to matter. No matter how ugly the times are, and yes, they're pretty ugly. But now is when they have to matter the most. Now, I think I may have mentioned this when I was here last time. I'm not sure. But I grew up in Schenectady. I had some hard-working folks that raised me, worked for General Electric, working class, upward mobility, lived that story. My dad preached work ethic. My dad preached discipline, responsibility. Don't cheat. Be honest. Look someone in the eye when you talk to them. Have a firm handshake. Basic things that I now pass on to my children. Mean what you say what you mean. My mother, all about love. And that meant going to church every Sunday and making sure that we got to know God. I learned through church. You can clap for that. Thank you, sir. I learned through church. The power of love, the power of community, the power of togetherness, of family, of unity, of compassion, of caring, of service to others. These are the values, people. These are the things that bring us all here today. We cannot get distracted with all the noise and all the polarization. Remember why we are in this. Remember what anchors us, what gets us up every single day. Remember what we teach our children and our grandchildren. This is what's on the line as we navigate this political terrain that we're in 2023 and in 2024. Education was everything in my household. Back when I was growing up, teachers were an extension of my parents' authority. Teachers were an extension of my parents' authority. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But you know what? It made a difference because that was my gateway. That's how I was able to go from cutting coupons and putting clothes on layaway in one apartment to the next in our first brand new home my freshman year in high school, off to Oxford and a law degree at Harvard. That's where it started, with education, with the work ethic. We got to get back to respecting authority, get back to respecting those who show up and do work every single day and help us put food on our table. Now, I want to be clear about something. A lot of things have changed since I was growing up. Those values, they were also happening at a time before those jobs were shipped overseas. Before those jobs were shipped overseas. Before we stopped investing in public goods like education, like healthcare, like safe drinking water, like clean air, like collective bargaining. Before every single idea coming out of government had to be a market-based idea as opposed to a community, locally based idea. Before greed became known as good. I want to be clear about something. Greed is not good. Greed is not good. Greed is the reason why those jobs were shipped off overseas. Greed is the reason why we are now struggling to see our kids grow prosperously and make sure that everybody has a chance at the American dream. And protecting, financing, enabling greed should never be the mission of a democracy, ever. Ever. Now, as Democrats, those who believe in thoughtful, compassionate, effective, and justice-driven government anchored in the interest of people, all people, it's up to us. It is up to us to reset the paradigm. It is up to us to make sure that we are lifting up working families. It is up to us to make sure that we are supporting labor and collective bargaining. You look at the numbers. You look at what's happened economically. During the pandemic, you know what happened? 40% of people making $40,000 or less lost their jobs. The top 1% now own more wealth than the entire middle class in this country. The entire middle class. Over the last 40 years, we've lost labor roles, union roles by the millions. Productivity has gone up 60% over that same period of time. Wages, only 15%. Is there a coincidence? No. Not when labor, not when collective bargaining are under assault. Democrats back labor. Democrats back collective bargaining. Democrats protect working families and protect wages. All right, let me bring this to a close. I want to ask you, what do you think happens when you have the labor interests and the interest of capital, both legitimate interests, both, competing on the playing field of democracy, but one side of the equation has entirely swallowed up the rules of the game? What do you think is going to happen? I'll tell you, the will of the people will grow further and further away from the government. It will not be reflected, and you'll see rollbacks on voting rights instead of making it easier for people to vote. You'll see nearly 50 years of precedent with Roe v. Wade rolled back. You'll see the rise of hate and violence based on this ugly notion of replacement theory, conspiracy theory. What are we talking about? You'll see facts no longer mattering. You'll see people want to do away with books. We don't ban books in America. What are we talking about here? I'm tired. I'm tired of the self-centered, empty suits exploiting the fragility of this nation for their own gain, seeking power for power's sake. And that's the truth. And it is incumbent upon all of us to dig in and to fight. Like my hero, Dr. King, once said, we must not permit adverse winds to overwhelm us as we journey across life's mighty Atlantic. We must be sustained by our engine of courage in spite of all the winds. We got to love each other. We got to push back that hate and that divisiveness with unity. And as my friend, Controller DiNapoli said, we got a lot to prove in 2023 and in 2024. The road to change can run through New York. So I just want you all to not be dispirited. Do not be deterred. Do not get down. Lift yourselves up. Just because somebody has a different political point of view, it does not make your fellow American your mortal enemy. It doesn't. We've got to tolerate each other. At the very least, we've got to be able to accept that we're diverse, and that is our strength. And we've got to grow together and unite. And we need leaders who don't fan the flames of hate. We need leaders who don't lie. We need leaders who believe in truth. In truth. It's not complicated. I'm tired of all that nonsense, but I'm not too tired to fight. And I know people in this room are not too tired to fight. So know that, yes, the world is watching, and there are dark forces moving across the globe set against democracy and the values that underpin it, like freedom, the rule of law, equality, individual liberty, sovereignty. And these forces want to revert back to an international order where might makes right. And you know and I know that America has always been on the front line of freedom. We can't falter from within. We can't afford that, nor can the world. So my request to you this evening is that we honor our greatest generation, the ones who beat back Nazism, the ones who beat back fascism abroad. We honor them. We stay true to them and their sacrifice. Truly, we be great. We be America. I love you, and let's fight.
Wow. Whoa. It must have been a long car ride down from Albany today. How about another round of applause for Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado? Let me just say before he cuts out, one, we couldn't have a better friend than him. I mean, Tom DiNapoli has been our friend forever. He has always been here for us. I love him. I've just gotten to know our Lieutenant Governor, and I couldn't have said it any better than what he just said, and it is true, because in this room, there are people from all different walks of life, political philosophies, but there's one thing that we can safely say is that we love each other, we respect each other, and we need to get back to that, because as I've said before, I'm exhausted from letting the crazies on both sides control the narrative. I'm exhausted at watching our country be divided by a certain few. And I've talked to a bunch of public officials in Suffolk County about the fact that we all need to, the common sense people, need to get together and be able to control the narrative and not have the lunatics on the left and the lunatics on the right deciding how we're supposed to be governed, who we're supposed to talk to, whether we can support law enforcement or not, whether we can support labor unions, whether we can support development. I am tired of crazy people telling me how to live, and you also should be tired of that as well. And I can tell you that not only do we have a great future with our Lieutenant Governor, with our state comptroller leading us as state public officials, but now, as Tom DiNapoli has said, 2023 is important because it's a local year. We have an open county executives race, the most important position in the county. In fact, I see one of our formers here, former county executive Pat Halpin, who I served with. And we're going to make Jason Richburg our presiding officer of the county legislature. And we are going to make, speaking of those with common sense, and he's got experience in the private sector as a successful business person. He's got experience as a prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Office. He prosecuted one of the 9/11 defendants in Virginia. He served as chair of the Suffolk County Planning Commission. He ran the Sandy Task Force after our town and other towns in Suffolk were devastated by Superstorm Sandy. County turned to Dave Cologne to ask what needed to be done to do it better the next time. Time and time again, the county, the government, and the private sector have turned to Dave Cologne because he's got common sense, he's got creativity, he's got youth, energy, and experience all wrapped up into one, and he is going to be our next county executive. I give you our good friend, Dave Cologne.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Great to see you all. Great to see you all here. Great to see so many of you, so many friends, so many new friends. How about a round of applause for our statewide electeds, Controller DiNapoli and our Lieutenant Governor. The energy in this room is impressive and amazing, and we need to continue that through these next few months. Let me ask you to all join me in thanking our County Chairman, Rich Schaffer, for his team, for everything you do, sir. Rich Schaffer is a winner, and we're going to win in 2023. You know, this year, for the first time in a decade, we're actually running a coordinated county-wide campaign, and I'm excited to partner with Rich and to win with Rich Schaffer. The first evidence of our power together, we, including many people in this room, collected nearly 14,000 petition signatures for the countywide race. Thank you all for the work you did. Thank you to our amazing candidates and elected officials here, everybody, State Senate, Assembly, county legislators, led by the next presiding officer of Suffolk County, Jason Richburg. We have town leaders, school board members, others here together. We are on the front lines of this effort. I want to particularly thank our friends in labor who are here tonight, who continue to stand up for the working people throughout our region. How about a round of applause for our friends in labor? I also want to ask you to thank the people who are working this room here today. We're all having a great time, but there are people serving us from one end of this room to the other. Please give them a round of applause as well. Thank you not only to all of you for your support here tonight, but for your commitment to our enduring democratic cause. We have crucial elections up here in 2023 and 2024, and we know what is at stake. We Democrats are the ones fighting to make things better for working families, creating more housing options, creating good paying jobs through job training, apprenticeships, and worker protections, helping our small businesses thrive. We Democrats are the ones working to strengthen our communities, from fixing our roads and infrastructure to protecting our environment by making the needed investments to ensure clean air and clean water and creating jobs as we do. We Democrats are protecting freedom, which is increasingly under attack from the right wing, from the right to choose, to the right to vote, to the right to be who you are and love who you love.
We Democrats are the ones fighting to make our communities safer, being tough on crime and tough on the underlying causes of crime. I look forward to working with Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison and investing in a holistic approach to law enforcement, protecting people's rights, including the right to live in safe neighborhoods, addressing the opioid and addiction crisis, and getting guns off of our streets. And we Democrats are the ones who understand that none of this is possible unless we have a talented and well-supported county workforce. I'm proud to be a Democrat because I'm the son of a union household from right here in Suffolk County. And I've personally experienced how Democratic values and initiatives move us forward. Unions made a difference in my family growing up. Thanks to our public school systems and teachers able to get a terrific education. Because of a commitment to public safety, I went on to be a prosecutor, where I worked hard on cases that protected our communities and our tax dollars. Because of the democratic spirit of innovation and initiative, I went into business, where I helped create hundreds of jobs and lower health care costs for consumers. Because I believe in public service, I've stepped into civic roles, like as chair of the County Planning Commission and the Suffolk County's Superstorm Sandy Review Task Force. My whole life, in a variety of experiences, I've focused on advancing the things we as Democrats are committed to improving: opportunity and affordability, safety and fairness. Like all of you, I love Suffolk County, and I'm ready to fight to make it a better place for my kids and yours. But let's be clear, we get what we work for, not what we wish for. In the last year or so, we've seen dramatic improvements in Democratic performance in swing areas like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and even Kansas. And winning there has made huge consequences in our country. As we've been reminded time and time again, elections matter. Those successes were driven by the fact, that Democrats rolled up their sleeves, they got organized, and they voted. Here in Suffolk County, we are politically privileged. We are in one of the only counties in our country where the outcome of an election is not predetermined by partisanship. Through elections, we can make a difference here in Suffolk County. We know what it takes to organize, and all of us are going to need to do it again this year, from east to west, from north to south. Not only do we have the race for Suffolk County Executive, a seat Democrats have held for the last 20 years and must keep, but thanks to the outstanding candidates all across this room, we have a chance to flip our county legislature, win crucial town supervisor races and town council elections. We all know that Republicans will use the same worn-out playbook of lying and fear-mongering, but look, we have the better ideas, we have the better candidates, and we have a better vision to move Suffolk forward. I'm proud to be a Democrat because I believe in the core values of opportunity and affordability, safety and fairness. Because we don't accept what is, but rather imagine what can be. Because we never stop asking the questions, what should be, what could be, and how do we make it happen? Now, my friends, let's do the work, let's spread the word, let's continue to broaden our coalition to move Suffolk forward, and let's win this thing together in November. Thank you very much.
Our next county executive, Dave Colon. Great job, Dave. Thank you very much. Before I end, I wanted to ask you to help me. We're going to honor them later on this year, but I wanted to recognize 3 outstanding county legislators who are serving in their last term. And Sarah Anker from Legislator 6. Sarah, according to the Republicans, was never supposed to get elected. She, of course, won a special election by 42 votes, something around there. No, 19 votes. I think her following election was by 42 votes, so she kept going up, but she won in one of the toughest areas in Suffolk County for us as Democrats to run. And tell you a quick story. The last election, after election night, she was down by about 1,800 votes, I think, 16 to 1,800 votes. And we looked at the numbers and the paper, and in my mind, I just said, there's no way we can make this up. And she said, no, don't worry, I'm going to win. And the day they did the recount, Jesse Garcia called me and he said, are you kidding me? She won. And he said, Leisure Village, which is a very large senior citizen community in Ridge, Leisure Village, every ballot that came back voted straight Republican except Sarah. And I called Sarah and I said, Sarah, you won. She said, I know, I won. Yep. And I said, but Leisure Village, every ballot was straight Republican except you. She says, yeah, bocce ball is Tuesday night, knitting is on Wednesday night, bingo is Friday night. Sarah did it old school and got to know her constituents, and no matter what anybody said, they could not paint her as anything other than Sarah Anchor, who cares about her constituents. So Sarah, you've done a terrific job. We're proud of you. And unfortunate for us, term limits, but Dorothy is here. Where's Dorothy, your chief of staff? She is somewhere. Where's Dorothy is running for Sarah's seat, and we are going to make Dorothy the next legislator from the 6th Legislative District. Also, Kara Hahn. Where's Kara? Is she still here? I think she had to leave. She had something going on with her family. But give a round of applause to Kara Hahn, who served as our deputy presiding officer, who is term limited out of the 5th District in the town of Brookhaven. And Kara started way back when she worked in Brookhaven Town Hall, then came over and worked with Bill Lindsay as his communications director, Bill Lindsay Sr., when he was presiding officer. And then Kara, in her own right, has served as the legislator from the 5th District for 12 years. I can't say enough about Kara. Kara is going to be going over to the State Parks Department, serving as the deputy director of the Long Island State Parks Commission at Belmont Lake. And as we know, parks is her love, and she has done a very good job as the Parks Committee chair over the years, and I know she's going to do well there. But we have, as Tom DiNapoli mentioned, Steve Engelbright, who is running for his old seat in the county legislature. And I can tell you, I served with Steve on the county legislature. He educated me as to of many environmental issues, open space purchases that the county now has preserved, and we are enjoying the benefit of that in terms of clean drinking water and less development in very critical areas throughout Suffolk County. He was the architect of the county's original open space program, and I'm excited to see him, and thank you for agreeing to do this, for running to continue to represent the residents that you've represented so ably for the past 30 years. Thank you very much. Steve Engelbright, our next county legislator. And finally, another one of our stars who has, over the years, done so well, not only as a Southampton Town Board member, but she has served now as a county legislator. She ran a great race for Congress, and I can tell you that probably one of the most insightful legislators, the unions will tell you, the advocacy groups that come before the county legislature. She's not only right on point in terms of the questions, but she's always got the answers that need to be implemented to solve problems. And I can tell you that she's been a good friend of mine over the years when she was on the town board, and I've watched her from afar, very proud of all the work that she's done. I don't think we've heard the last from her, but she is not running again, which was kind of a shock, but understand where people are at points in their life. And I know that she's got a lot more to give our good friend, legislator Bridget Fleming. So we, as Bridget, normally she didn't let me get to the next line, but listen, I'll take direction from Sarah, Kara, and Bridget any day of the week. And but I wanted to say was, so when Bridget told me she wasn't running again, I went into panic mode, and I said, we've got to find a candidate. And of course, her district is pretty much the South Fork of Suffolk County, a little bit into Brookhaven, but mainly Southampton and East Hampton Town. And populations have grown so much post-COVID there. The census showed that really they had to lose area in that district. So we focused on who could be someone who could step into her shoes, knew the district, and had some sort of reputation out there. And Gordon Hare, our Southampton leader, Anna Skrantek from East Hampton, all came together on one person. And in fact, in the past, Southampton has never been known to agree on anything. Right, Jay? Sort of. But everybody, and even the factions that I knew were against each other, everybody came back and said, Ann Welker is the person that you want for the county legislature. So Ann is a member of the trustees in Southampton. She's stood for election on her own and has been reelected. Everybody who I've talked to said Ann is the person that you want, and she will capture that seat for you, and she'll be a very able legislator. So welcome, Ann. We're looking forward to working with you. But we're going to honor them later on in the year. I just wanted to highlight them tonight. And let me just end this by saying, I love all of you. I love all of you. And I love all of you, not only for your donation tonight, which got me off the hook with Allie and Amanda, but also I love all of you because as I look around at all the faces, I remember all of the different things that we have worked on or interacted with over the years, whether it was working on something, an issue that affected your membership, whether it affected your constituents in your town. And I have appreciated the respect that you've shown me, the support and the friendship that you've shown me, and also the buy-in to what I said earlier, which is that we need more common sense people to be in government, because I am exhausted from the last 7 years of this craziness. I don't want to get back on that crazy train again next year. And I think we've all in agreement that we need to stick together as common sense people and deliver that message that we're not going to stand for crazy on either side, and we're going to demand of candidates that they are going to approach issues in a common sense way, in a rational way, in a way that is going to expand opportunities for people, not seek to use their power to divide people, and make sure that we deliver and do the job that we were elected to do, that people are counting on us to do. Those are the candidates that you're going to see from our party this year. Dave Colon leading the ticket, all the county and town candidates, and the money that you've donated tonight is going to go toward helping them to deliver that message. I can't thank you enough. I love you all. Get home safe. Have a great rest of the night. Thank you very much.